The Frozen Adventure. Jack was an explorer who loved to travel the world and discover new places. He had a map of the world on his wall, and he marked every country he had visited with a red pin. He had been to many places, but there was one place he had always dreamed of going: Antarctica. He wanted to see the icebergs, the penguins, the seals, and the polar bears. He wanted to feel the cold wind on his face and the snow under his feet. He wanted to have an adventure in the most remote and mysterious continent on Earth. One day, he got a chance to make his dream come true. He received an invitation from a famous scientist named Dr. Smith, who was leading an expedition to Antarctica. Dr. Smith needed someone to help him with his research on climate change and its effects on the wildlife. Jack was thrilled and accepted the invitation without hesitation. He packed his bags and boarded a plane to Argentina, where he met Dr. Smith and his team. They took another plane to a small island near Antarctica, where they boarded a ship that would take them to the frozen land. Jack was excited and nervous at the same time. He couldn't wait to see Antarctica for himself. The journey was long and rough. The ship had to navigate through stormy seas and huge waves. Jack felt sick and dizzy most of the time, but he didn't complain. He knew it was worth it. He spent his time reading books about Antarctica and talking to Dr. Smith and his team. They were all very friendly and knowledgeable, and they shared their stories and experiences with Jack. One of them was Anna, a young biologist who specialized in penguins. She had a warm smile and bright blue eyes that reminded Jack of the icebergs. She was very passionate about her work and loved penguins more than anything else. She told Jack that she had been studying them for years and that they were amazing creatures with complex social behaviors and personalities. Jack liked Anna a lot. He found her smart, funny, and charming. He enjoyed listening to her talk about penguins and watching her eyes sparkle with enthusiasm. He felt a connection with her that he had never felt with anyone else before. They arrived at Antarctica after 2 weeks of sailing. Jack was amazed by the sight of the white continent that stretched as far as he could see. It was like entering another world, a world of ice and snow and silence. He felt a surge of adrenaline and curiosity as he stepped off the ship and onto the land. He followed Dr. Smith and his team to their base camp, where they set up their tents and equipment. They had a lot of work to do, but they also had some time to explore and enjoy their surroundings. Jack was eager to see everything he could. He went on hikes with Dr. Smith, who showed him the glaciers, the mountains, the valleys, and the lakes of Antarctica. He learned about the history, the geography, and the geology of the continent. He saw amazing sights that took his breath away. He went on trips with Anna, who showed him the penguins, the seals, the whales, and the polar bears of Antarctica. She taught him about their biology, their ecology, their behavior, and their conservation. She introduced him to her favorite penguins, who had names like Bob, Lucy, Charlie, and Sophie. She let him feed them fish and pet them gently. Jack fell in love with Anna during those trips. He realized that she was not only beautiful but also brave, kind, and adventurous. He admired her for her dedication to her work and her love for nature. He wanted to be with her more than anything else. He decided to tell her how he felt one day when they were alone on a hill overlooking a colony of penguins. He took her hand in his and looked into her eyes. "Anna," he said softly. "Yes," she said. "I have something to tell you." "What is it?" "I love you." She smiled and kissed him. "I love you too." They hugged each other tightly and watched the sunset over the horizon. They spent the next few days together as a couple. They shared their thoughts, their feelings, their dreams, their hopes, their fears. They laughed together. They cried together, they kissed together, they cuddled together. They had an incredible adventure in Antarctica. But then, Jack woke up. He opened his eyes and saw that he was in his bed in his apartment in New York City. It was all a dream. A beautiful dream that felt so real. A dream that he wished would never end. He looked at his wall and saw his map of the world with all his red pins. Except for one place. Antarctica. He sighed and closed his eyes again. He hoped to see Anna again in his dreams. Vocabulary. Pin. 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 Plane. 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 Wave. 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 Penguin. 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 Tent. 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 Whale. 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 Eyes. 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 Sunset. 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 Dream. Dream. Dream.